All right, we're live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to March 28th. This is the last MCR of the month. And today we're doing something a little different. I am Jason Artley, joined here by myself. Michael's traveling today. I do have DJ CJ helping me out. We're going to do what we can with what we have. But today we're talking about Bluebeam Cloud. There's a couple things different about Bluebeam Cloud versus Revu. And also, there's been a new release. So if you are an Android user, Bluebeam Cloud now exists for Android. So you can download this and play with it. Now, don't get your hopes up. It's pretty good. So I've heard, but there are some things that separate these different platforms, and there's still some confusion. Like, why do I need Cloud when I have Studio, and why do I need Studio when I have Revu? So we're going to go through all these things today and figure things out. All right. So before we get started, I'm going to start sharing my screen. I think that's the one I want. There we go. And I want to start here with the ATG website. So if you didn't know, MCR is powered by ATG, and we do a lot of different things here. And we've got a lot of great things on our website that we want to make you aware of. And the main one here is the resources tab. So if you go to atgusa.com and come over to resources, we have workflows and solutions and also white papers. And today we're going to be sort of talking about this white paper right here, Introduction to Bluebeam Cloud. So if you don't want to stick around for this whole thing, or heck, if you want to learn more about Bluebeam or Autodesk or Revit or all the other things we've got going on here, go download and knock yourself right out. But this introduction to Bluebeam Cloud is sort of how I'm framing today. I'll be following this that Michael made. So if you want to download this, you're welcome to it. And we'll make sure this is in the chat. And I'll just grab that right here. I can't chat to everybody, so DJ CJ will have to do that. But we'll go from there. So you can download that white paper. It gives you a pretty good outline of what's going on and these differences that we're going to talk about today. So before we get into Bluebeam Cloud, we have to start with Revu. And in this case, I'll be using Revu 21, and we're going to get a plan ready to go to the cloud. Now, what does that mean? Why ready to be uploaded to the cloud? Because the cloud is pretty cool, but it's not Revu, right? There are some things that are limiting. And in order to get it to do what we need it to do, we want to prepare our files that we want to collaborate with inside of Revu first. And I thought I would, since we're going crazy here and mixing things up, I'm going to use a plan that I've never used before. And the terrorist cat is back, of course. So from here, I have a mechanical plan. And you all know that whenever I open mechanical plans, it means I don't know what the heck is going on. So I'm going to make up some terms that probably aren't correct, but that's okay. But in this plan, what I want to highlight is some of the things that are pertinent, right? Bluebeam Cloud is meant to enable more mobile workflows, right? Meaning if somebody's in the office and somebody's in the field, whether they're doing punch list walkthroughs or any other sort of verification, they'll be able to do that through that mobile app. Now, if they're not using the mobile app, they will be able to use the web browser, right? So it's pretty powerful, but again, it's not Revu. We get a lot of calls about that. Can I just use Bluebeam Cloud? Why do I need the license? Well, you can't get Bluebeam Cloud on its own. That's part of it. And also, you need to be able to, have the desktop mothership still. Even if you've got studios and clouds and all the other things going on, you still need to have Revu as the desktop platform. So let's go back a little bit. I've talked about Revu, talked about Studio, I've talked about Cloud. So we're currently in Revu. Studio lives over here, right? This is the one you should know and love. This is like a virtual plan room, right? So this is where we can store our files, and they don't all have to be PDFs. Inside of Studio projects, we can store CAD files and Word documents and spreadsheets and PDFs, and this can be our single source of truth for people to download and to work on files in a cloud-based environment. Here in Studio Sessions is where we can have up to 500 people collaborate on the same PDF file only at the same time. So, here at MCR, we've had a few studio sessions where we've come in and had people draw stuff and collaborate and have a good old time. But in the real world, people are using this for their plan reviews, right? Instead of having 5 different paper sets that this engineer reviews and this architect reviews and this, plumbing person reviews, they'll be able to all review the same PDF in real time, and it's pretty magical. But again, that is a review only thing, right? You don't really have a mobile option. Now, yes, you can do that on the iPad, but it's not the same. And that's where, cloud comes in. We need to be able to make our workforce a little bit more mobile, because that's sort of where we're going, right? We don't always have laptops in our work trucks, and we don't want to carry around our Windows-based laptop while we're walking around the job site doing the things that we need to do. So that's where cloud comes in. Cloud is only available with Revu 21 subscriptions, and that's where things get tricky, right? Now, one of the big things, and I know we talked about this in a past episode, there are some limitations to what Bluebeam Cloud can do. It can't do measurements. It can't do, spaces. It can't do a few different things. But what it can do, it does pretty well. And that's where we need to configure not just our PDF, but our Revu to be ready to run a cloud. Because when you first install Revu 21, it's going to ask you, do you want to sync your tools to cloud? And if you click yes, it's going to sync them all up. And you'll find that your snapshot tools won't work right. Your measurement tools won't, the icons will be weird. It's going to make your tool chest on the cloud look kind of sloppy. So if you go back a few episodes, we talk about going through your tool chest and getting that ready. That would be worth a watch. Today, we're just going to be focusing on getting this plan ready. This is the plan that I want to mobilize my workers to go out and do some punch list items with. So here, one of the first things I want to make sure that I have set up is spaces. Now, we haven't talked about spaces in a while here, but today's a good day to do it. We can't do spaces in cloud. So once this is up there, we can't manipulate them, we can't change them, but they have a vital role. They're going to save us some time, just as they save us time already. So if you haven't used spaces before, we're going to do this real quick. If you're a Revit user, you can convert rooms to spaces when you make the PDF. And there are some other things you can do if you're coming from other platforms, but this is pretty straightforward. And to make this easy, I'm going to choose some of these square offices, rectangular offices, whatever, in order to make this easy on myself. So I'm using the Revu Advanced. Oh, I made myself a liar. Now I'm using the Revu Advanced profile. So profile, Revu Advanced, that's going to put the spaces panel over on the right side. And here I can click on spaces, and then I can enable the plus sign here to create a space. So I'm going to create a space, and I'm just going to grab, I don't have my snaps toggled on. I'm just going to do these pretty sloppy. I'm making a space here for Office 226. Office 226. And I'm going to make another one for Office 228. Again, I'm being kind of sloppy here. Just being quick. It's not a real job. It's fine. And, oh, hello. Cancel that one. Let's do this meeting room. Let's just do a couple more, because what I want to show you when we get to cloud will make a difference. Meeting 232, and we'll just do this one too. Again, I'm not snapping. I'm being lazy and quick. Don't do what I'm doing. You should always snap to content. Good question, Doug. Do spaces snap to each other? Like content wise, well, let's go find out. That's what we do here. Snap to content was not enabled. See, I always have that enabled. For some reason, I turned it off. So if I create let's create a space over here, junk space. If it does not snap, good question. It's not considered a markup. All right, so I did that intentionally. One, just to test if you could snap to it because it's not considered a markup, but also what do we do if we screw up? I can't really click on it. You have to go to the panel and right click, and then you can delete it from here. All right. I can color code these spaces. There's a bunch of cool things I can do with them. Once I have them selected, let's just go to this one, for example. You can open up the properties of that one. So I right clicked and I went to properties. You can change the name. You can change the color. You can change the opacity. You can do things to make it stand out. In this case, since I've got 3 offices in 1 meeting room, let's make the meeting room look different just to differentiate it. I'm using improper terms there, but so I've created 4 spaces just to be easy. And then now we see it's a different color. All right. Now, I'm not going to do any more markups on this one right now. I just wanted to have some more spaces. Now, I could go through and complete all of these spaces, and that's what I would recommend that you do if this were a real project, right? It doesn't take that long, and there are some other benefits to spaces. Just real quick, while we're here, I can easily create snapshots. I can easily create area measurements. There are some other benefits to this that we've talked about before. I think we did a couple different episodes just on spaces before on how it's going to allow you to make your markups list easier, all that sort of stuff. You can't change the default color. Yeah, this like sort of purpley color. Yeah. Bob, I'm not the Revit guy, but I do know this one. You can convert Revit rooms to spaces from Revit if you're using the Bluebeam plugin. There's a toggle that says include or convert rooms to spaces. So that way, when you create your PDF, these will already be set up and it will keep the same names as your Revit rooms. So pretty slick. So the question while we're in here, thanks for the question, by the way. You know, what's the use for spaces? The main thing that I like spaces for is organizing things. And we'll see that as we go. Just real quick, like if I go to my tool chest and let's change my profile again to my field issues. Now my space is moved. But if I go drop some spaces here or drop some markups here and drop some markups here and drop some markups here and do these things, my punch list, when I go to my markups list at the bottom, it's going to tell me where these issues are because now I have that space there. So instead of just having them all just everywhere, I know exactly, hey, there's a millwork problem and it's in Office 228, right? So it's going to sort my life, sort my markups, sort my issues, make everything a little better, right? So I'll go through and remove those guys real quick. I should have done this while I was in the markups list, but whatever. Okay, so we've created some spaces. If you haven't used those before, give them a try. And they're not just for architectural, right? I'm the civil guy, so use them for landscape areas, gravel areas, asphalt areas, you know, lot 1, you know, open spaces. You can lay out subdivisions with spaces, right? It's going to do a lot of different things to organize your markups, your measurements, your quantities, all that other stuff. All right. That said, let's save this file and we will then get out of Revu and we're just going to go to the cloud. Ready? We're going on an adventure, everybody. Ta-da! We're in the cloud. It's magical. So app.bluebeam.com is how you get to cloud. If you have Revu 21, you should be able to get here already. It's going to use the same login that you use to log into Bluebeam Revu 21. And when you get to the cloud, you're going to be greeted with 2 different tabs on the left side: My Workspace and Projects. what I like about the workspace now, if you've already uploaded stuff, you won't see this screen here. And I removed the things that I had in here just to show you this, because it tells you exactly what it's for. Mark up documents privately until you're ready to share them. Right. So from here, you can go browse and you can find files and you can do what you want to do. I'll go over here and let's do this file I just opened. So here's the file that I just modified inside of Revu. It's uploading right now. Now I have my workspace, right? So I'm going to open this. And this is going to allow me to play with it, right? This is only mine. I'm not sharing this with anybody else. This isn't available. Now, a couple interesting things that are going on here. For one, my spaces, you don't see them, but they're there. So as I open up my tool chest, here's the super simple Bluebeam Cloud interface. On the left side, I have my tool chest. And as I mentioned, some of the question marks, these are all my old snapshots, right? There's some measurement stuff that doesn't work. You know, there are some tools that are not supported, and you're going to get these question marks. That's why we always recommend clean up the tool chest that you want to use and just create one special for the cloud, right? If you want to, you can create a brand new one here, or you can upload a different one that you've got going on here. But within the tool chest, you have that same sort of cool functionality. You can drop your markups. You can do what you need to do and go from there. So if I want cloud stuff or do my cloud plus, empty. I'm not feeling super creative today, everybody. What I don't like is the zooming. It doesn't seem to want to zoom the way that I'm used to in Revu. So you got to hit the buttons. Now, again, if you're on a mobile device, no big deal. You just do the pinch zoom thing and it works just fine. Oh, you guys with your control. See, this is why we do what we do. I either forgot that one or I just learned it now because Isaac and Liz are helping me out here. My middle button pan does still work. This PDF is in a workspace. So this is just for me. Now, again, that means once I'm done with this, I can share it and include it with a project, but this is just me messing around with cloud. And this is what I recommend you do. Upload something to the workspace and just mess around with it. See what you can do. Some of the tools that you were used to in Revu don't exactly work the same. It takes a little bit of getting used to. Now, there are a couple tips I want to throw at you just to help you get through this a little easier. And one of them is kind of hard to see. So if you see, I wish I had my little zoom thing going on here. But here, on my panel here on the left, I've got my select, and then below select, I have cloud. Below cloud, I have vector pen. Then I have my text. Then I have an arrow. Then I have call out, and I have highlighter, and I have image. Well, I kind of wish I had more. And that's where these little gray triangles, see them just right on the corner? So the cloud, the call out, and the highlighter all have additional flyouts. So instead of clicking on the cloud, if you click on that little triangle or hover over that triangle, then you can convert that. Maybe I don't want it to be cloud. I want it to be a rectangle instead. And when I let go of the mouse on rectangle, now that button turns from cloud to rectangle. Same thing with my call out. If I click, instead of just call out, I want cloud plus. This is a cloud plus. And then same thing for highlighter. I can turn from highlighter to pen. Right? So I can change my tools, and your tools might look different depending on which one you already had selected. Pretty cool. All right. We'll keep going. Now I'm going to go back to select. I'm going to grab this cloud and I'm going to delete it. let's go do some other things in our markups. Now, we went over the left side panel, but there's also a couple other things going on. Those of you who used Revu 17 and below will be happy to see our little friend, the half blue circle, is back. So if we go to the bottom left, you can go here and see your pages. So if you've got a multiple page PDF, you'd be able to navigate to them here. And additionally, over here on the right, we have comments and shapes. And this is where we'll be able to do stuff. All right. So we've taken a look at this one, but this is just our workspace. We want to get out of here. So I went back to my workspace. Let me show you. I went that pretty quick there. To get out of the workspace, you can, don't go to the right. That's where you download it. You hit this arrow up at the top left, and then you'll be back to your main interface, right? Notice now that my workspace has a plan in it, it doesn't tell me, doesn't give me that little graphic saying that your workspace is for you. Right. So again, this place is for you to experiment with, not for real projects. And I've seen some people say, well, hey, I've done all these things and nobody else can see it. Well, probably because you did all that inside of the PDF and in your workspace and not part of the project. And the project is the big part of cloud. And that's where we're going to go now. So I'm going to go over to projects. And this is where I already have two set up, but instead of using these, I'm going to create a new one. So this project is going to give me the option to set things up, invite people, do all that other stuff. But there's a question. I'm going to go back to my workspace real quick. If you right click, you can download, rename, and delete. There are no sharing options exactly, but we'll get to that in a minute. So I'm going to go back to projects and I'm going to create a brand new project. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were taking a break for a second. I noticed in the chat, somebody had a question about, does cloud work with Autodesk Construction Cloud? I don't know if you answered that.
No, not yet. Obviously we at ATG, we're a Bluebeam Platinum partner. Heck, we're Bluebeam Partner of the Year. And we are an Autodesk Platinum partner. We love both these companies, but they are obviously competitors. They don't play well together in the cloud yet. In order to enable these workflows, they're going to have to play nice. Autodesk Construction Cloud can do a lot of things better than Bluebeam Cloud. There, I said it. Because it's been around longer. It can do more. It has some limitations. It certainly costs more. It has more features and bells and whistles than most people might need, right? There are absolutely cases where Bluebeam Cloud is perfect. That's all they need. You know, they don't need all the other things that come with a construction cloud. So depending on the type of workflow, this might be the right tool for the job, especially because it's free. You already have it if you've got Revu 21, right? So let's create a new project. Let's play with this. I mean, it's free if you've got Revu 21. So let's create a new project. We're going to call this MCR. Okay, Alex, thanks for the terminology. It's not free. Free assumes that it's got no value. Okay, got it. It's included. Thanks for, it's early still. I'm just getting back off my vacation. All right, MCR, March, there we go. I'm not being creative today. So I'm gonna hit create project. And wow, there we go. I'm gonna double click on MCR March, and now this is gonna open up that dashboard. So now it wants to know, you know, what is my role here? What am I doing creating this project? So I've got my name in here. That's not my title anymore, but we're just going to say MCR co-host. Well, I'm hosting today. Michael's not here, so ha. So I'm just going to say confirm. Now this brings me to my project dashboard. This is where I need to set things up accordingly to allow my team to do what we need to do. So my location, I'm going to add details. I can put in the street address. I can put in, cities. I can put in all this other stuff. I'm going to say Little Rock, Arkansas, or whatever else. I'm going to hit cancel here. And then we'll go in and go to admin. I can view my team. Now, currently, I haven't added anybody. Right? There's nobody here to collaborate with. Wow, my mouse is going crazy on my chat over here. Hang on. Whoa. Okay, let's get out of there for a minute. I can invite people. So this is where I would invite viewers, members, admin, right? These people are going to have different rights. Admins are going to be able to invite people, kick people out, do things like that. Let me see. I'm checking my little notes here to see if I've got a flow chart that I can share. And there is just simply too many words to skim. So similar to Construction Cloud, the Autodesk Construction Cloud, and one of these days we will do them both side by side. I'm going to invite by email. Who do I want this person to do? What do I want them to do? I can go from there, right? And then once I'm in here, I can go back to my project dashboard, and then I can upload my drawings. Now, when I'm uploading my drawings, I can just upload them straight, or I can import them from an integration. Now, if I import drawings, I can go from integrations or from Studio, right? So remember earlier when I said Studio is different, it is different, but they can be linked. So if I say since I'm on it, from Studio, it's going to show me all of the Studio projects that I have set up already, right? Since we're using the same ID, I don't have to log in again. It's just there. I'm going to cancel that. If I go from integrations, it's going to ask me, hold on, fighting a sneeze. There we go. Select an account that would have my integration. Now, if I had this set up, we would see different things in here. You can manage accounts from the integration tab in your settings. All right, let's go over there real quick. So if I go to my settings, top right here, there's a panel for integrations. This is where I can connect other aspects of what I've got going on. SharePoint, OneDrive, Box, Dropbox, Google Drive, and Ignite. Now, there will be more coming. I'm guessing there has to be. And once those start coming in, you'll be able to connect those, right? I see a lot of confusion and hesitance right now because there are so many different platforms, right? We've got Google Drive, we've got Dropbox, we've got Box, we've got Ignite, we've got Construction Cloud, we've got this, and they're all over the place, right? Integrating things and getting them closer to a central CDE would make life easier, but this isn't there yet. All right. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard and I'm going to go back to upload drawings. So I'm not importing from an integration because I don't have them set up, and I'm not integrating from Studio or not bringing in from Studio. I want to upload from that MEP file I had earlier. So I'm just going to browse, grab that MEP plan, and go from there. Right. So it's uploading, and it's kind of weird. Drawing upload complete. We're currently processing. This may take a few minutes. Well, then it's not complete, right? Maybe that's just me being whatever. All right, hang on. Let me get, my chat is just not letting me scroll.
While you're doing that, I can throw some questions your way that have come through.
Okay.
one of the things that they were talking about, Bluebeam University, and somebody asked, what is a Bluebeam University subscription? Could you kind of go over that for everybody?
See, I'm going to see if I'm going to learn from our chat from a few minutes ago. Bluebeam University is not free, it's included. So if you've got a Revu 21 subscription, you automatically have access to Bluebeam University, which is a free, not free. It's normally a $250 subscription. It's an online learning platform where you can learn about all things Bluebeam Revu. We did a whole episode about this a few couple months ago, I think. It's pretty good. Again, we're a little biased here, but it's pretty good. It's included. I don't have the link handy to log into it, but we'll get to it soon. All right. So what happened while we're talking about Bluebeam University is that this bubble notified us that, hey, your upload is complete and the drawings are ready for review. At the same time, I got emails saying that, hey, I've uploaded and now it's ready to go, right? So now the status is ready to review. Before we get to that, we'll go back to the dashboard. Notice, I'm going to hit refresh here. It's not going to tell me that I already have stuff uploaded, right? It's just going to give me a platform here where I can still upload drawings. I can also create punch items and I can create RFIs. So RFI, request for information, punch item, different purpose, we'll get there. So again, I'm in my MCR March dashboard. I can set my location. I can do all these things. I'm going to go to drawings. Now, when I go to drawings, I've already uploaded stuff. Where did it go? Well, I got to go to uploads, right? It's not published yet. It's just uploaded. I have to go in here and review this. Now, once this is ready for review, meaning I'm ready to send this to my team, I need to still publish it and I need to make sure it's proper. I'm going to select it. We'll take the name's fine, title's fine. This is a mechanical plan. I don't know how it knew that already. Maybe because it read mechanical. Autodesk Construction Cloud can't do that, I don't think. And revision comment, we don't have any. So I've selected it. We're going to go ahead and publish this. So now it's published. Now it shows up in drawings, right? And you just saw that pop up, show up in the left there. The drawing has been published. Now, once we get to this, we can open it and things should be a little different. They are different, right? Remember a few minutes ago when I was in my workspace, my spaces didn't show up and here they are. And earlier when I was in my workspace, I didn't have my RFI button and I didn't have my punch button. Additionally, I didn't have these options over here. I did have comments and shapes. I didn't have punch. I didn't have view RFIs. These are my panels accordingly. So now that I'm in here, we can play around with it more. Why I wanted to use, I'll hold control, I'll zoom in. Why I wanted to use spaces in here was for a very particular reason. Let's go create some punches and some RFIs. This is what you would do on your mobile device, right? You're walking around using a web browser. If you don't choose the app, it's fine. You can go in and hit punch. So I'm going to hit a punch and we're going to put that right here. See what happened? It knew that that was meeting 232 because it pulled the space from the PDF. I don't have to enter that in. It's going to help me organize things and make my life easier, right? Unfortunately, this meeting room has paint spill on carpet. Priority, it's normal, but I would like that fixed by Friday. And then I can go assign people from my team on who would do that. So I would go to the painter and I would go whomever. I would say, painting company. And I can assign a group, and I can assign a discipline, right? Who are these people? Paint. And I can upload photos. I don't have a photo of paint. I should have had a photo of paint queued up for that, but whatever. And I'm gonna save that. So what that punch did is, if everybody is on my team, everybody on my team will see this in the list, and they'll be able to see exactly where it is, what the problem is, when the problem needs to be resolved by, and who is the discipline responsible for fixing that. Pretty cool. They can come in here, add more comments. There's some white paint spilled that needs to be cleaned up. I think it's water-based paint, whatever. And I can send that to the team, right? So now I'm adding more detail to this. Now I'm getting caught up. There's a pretty big chat here. Okay, so Ben says, generally for our punch list, we don't assign anything to anyone. It's more of a listing of the items we see on site to hand over to the contractor for them to delegate getting the task done. Is there a way to export this list at the end to give to the contractor, or can you share the document with the contractor with completed? See, that's the thing. This cloud environment is where you would invite the contractor and they would just see everything as you go. So as that point, that if the contractor is part of the team, as you add that punch list item, they're going to get notified. So you don't have to wait till it's done. They can react faster, right? And that's sort of the whole one of the reasons that we're trying to enable more of these cloud workflows is let's skip so many of the emails and exporting. Let's get everybody on the same page at the same time. So yes, you can create ooh, good question, Bob. Can you create a list of punch descriptions? Yes and no. But let's see. If I were doing punches a little differently, I could also use the things in my tool chest for punches. You know, if I had that set up, that would already have those things, but I don't think it's treated the same way as the actual punch here. So there's probably a way around that. All right. So let's close my tool chest and we will move on. This time, let's do an RFI. I'm going to create an RFI. What? Okay, never mind. I can't just create it. I thought I could. Anywho, we'll go create one later. Let's create another punch flow because I want to have options. And we'll go here. In that office, there's a, oh, since we're doing mechanical, I got to make some fake. There's a giant hole in duct. This is hot. And I need this fixed tomorrow. And I can assign it. Discipline is going to be HVAC. I upload photos. And we'll go ahead and save that one. And then we'll go in here and I want to do one more because I actually want to upload a photo. Because I've got some fun photos that I don't get to share all the time. So we're going to do this. This one's going to be high priority. This one's going to be leaky faucet. This is due Friday. This is plumbing. And I'll upload a photo. And I like this photo. There we go. And we'll save that. All right, now we've got multiple issues in multiple spaces, right? We're still working on our one plan here. Now, when I go to my punch panel on the right side, I have item 3. And when I go back, I have 3 punch items. These are the things that I need to deal with. They are all still open. So if I go fix my paint spill, that status is now closed, right? Or, obviously we'd follow the process. Ready for review, out to scope, blah, 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 blah. We're just going to close it just to change what we've got going on here. So when I go back, now I see the statuses that are there. So if I'm the contractor, the whole team can go through here and see what needs to be done accordingly. We have no RFIs yet, and I've got no comments or shapes, right? Let me get caught up on the chat.
A few questions came in a little bit earlier that are, they're just kind of like top-notch, top-of-mind questions for an entry-level person. So they were wondering for Bluebeam Cloud, do all the other parties like consultants, contractors, do they have to have a Revu 21 license? And if so, does it have to be a minimum core, quote unquote?
I think this will work with basic. I do think they still need a license though. That answer is probably in the white paper that I didn't obviously read the whole thing.
Cool. No shame, Michael.
Yeah, I think basic. I think basic is fine. You don't need core. There are some differences though, depending on what level of subscription. There are some differences in what you're able to do in cloud, but when you're talking about sharing it and doing this, I think basic will work just fine. I do have I do have a need for like 5 more screens just for today only though. Hang on. In my notes, I'm reviewing on my other screen. I thought there was a flow chart that Michael had put in here that said what the differences were between core and complete and basic when it comes to your cloud access. Let's see. Anyway, it's download the white paper. That's what we started with. That will tell you because I'm not seeing it. All right. Another question. Can you sort by discipline? Good question. I can sort. So here in my punch items, there's a little up and down arrow button for sort. ID, location, description, status, assignees, due date. Now, that kind of sucks because it told me assignees, but I wish it would just give me disciplines because disciplines were pre-populated in there. That seems like a really easy one for them to fix. How does the search work? Plumbing. Ooh, that does nothing. Faucet. Okay, so it's only pulling the punch name. It's not pulling any of the other data that I've got going on in there. Right. So if I say HVAC, nothing. So I wish the search would search the other metadata that's in there, and I really wish the sort would show me discipline. Well, we know what to do there, don't we? We go to Bluebeam, we go back to Revu 21, we make a suggestion because this is something that they're going to be working on. Again, cloud is a new platform that came out last fall. They're still adding things to it. It's still evolving. And as it evolves, it's going to take the input from us, the community, the users, to help them know what they need, right? We've had Peter Noyes on here before, one of the principal developers of Bluebeam Cloud, the godfather of Bluebeam, as they like to call him. There's still a lot going on behind the scenes, and this software is going to evolve just as Autodesk Construction Cloud has evolved, right? That's evolving by the week, it seems, as it gets more adoption. And as Bluebeam Cloud gets more adoption, that's going to allow them to see what other things need to be maintained, right? All right. Yes, I agree. I agree. That's what we do here. We're open. That's what beta's for, right? That's what Liz is saying. Beta, a lot of this stuff should have been figured out in beta. It's not a full-fledged product. Well, I mean, it is, depending on what you need it for. If we're just talking about doing markups and just doing, plan reviews, sure, great. But when it comes to punches and RFIs, well, it's a little different. And it's okay to be salty, to use Liz's term, not mine. But it is what it is. All right. Yeah, just happy thoughts. Take a deep breath. It's something new. Whenever you get something brand new, some kinks to be worked out. All right.
Hey, Jason, if
Mhm.
you assign something to a contractor in here, are they able to come back in and add their subs to the item as well?
Good question. So what that would be referring to would be a membership level, right? So if I go back to my dashboard and I have my team, if I invite the contractor and I give them, a membership or call them an admin, they would be then able to invite their subs accordingly, right? So be careful with that. That was annoying. Hang on. Go back. There we go. Hang on. Just rabbit hole. Here's the squirrel going. If I want to invite, go back to dashboard. I hit invite. I was trying to get to that information bubble. That information bubble does not work. See? It's broken. Actually, I broke that button for good. Yeah. Usually when you hover over these little, oh, look at that. That information bubble works. This information bubble does not work. All right. Let's do this way. It does work over here though. So here's the permission level details. What's the difference between an admin, a member, and a viewer? So the admins are only ones that can invite other people, only ones that can edit some of the, important stuff. Members can download, members cannot upload. Viewers can download. When it comes to punches, they can do these things. They can set an assignee. So a member can assign to their subs accordingly. Set status of out of scope. So there are some things. A viewer can't open, close. I suppose that makes sense. Viewers can respond. So what this is telling me that viewers might not need to have a license. Don't hold me to that though. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. But yeah, there's a bug there. Additionally, if I had my addresses set up, so if I want to search for Chicago, I've been craving hot dogs lately, so this is probably where my brain went to Chicago. Anybody got a Chicago hot dog recommendation? I always forget the place I normally go to. Damn, yeah, Chicago dog. See, that's what I'm talking about. I've been on best hot dog out there. Ooh, that could be fighting words. No. I'm all about Sonoran dog. So living in Arizona for so long, if you're ever in Tucson, get a Sonoran dog. It'll change your life. That's my favorite hot dog, hands down. But Chicago is my second favorite, mainly because I live in the Midwest now and I can get them easier. But well, we can just pick a spot, right? This is where you're gonna, oh, even Portillo's. There's got those in Minneapolis. So if we're going in here, we can create layers to view our drawings on the map, where then we can say where this thing is, right? So if we want to set up our scale and do all the other things, we can orient our plan to actually align with the map, which is pretty cool. Michael did all that in a previous episode. It takes a little bit more time than we've got left today. But there we go. All right, moving on. This is different when I'm doing MCR on my own. I'm not doing a good job of keeping track of time. All right. So I have my drawings. These are the ones that are published. This is what we're reviewing. And go to documents. Documents is where you can upload other files, right? So if I want to upload a file, I can go and choose different file types, essentially, but they all have to be PDFs, at least in that folder. This would be supporting documents, specs, things like that don't need the review that the drawings do, right? Oh, so let's just upload a spec then. Because I think I might have some handy in PDF. There we go. These will be treated a little differently. So my documents, I still have my call outs, and I can still do my images, and I can still do my highlighter. There's no punch option. There's no RFI option. This is just a document. So drawings, documents. If we go to our punch list, here we go again. We can see the ones that have been created. I can generate a report. So there's what the question was earlier. Can we export that? Yes. Excel or PDF. Ooh, there we go. This will allow me to filter disciplines. So from the punch in the desktop or dashboard area, you can filter by discipline. And what I like about this is that it actually just gave me the ones that are applicable. Before, it gave me that whole list that I could choose. And then you can choose what you want to do here. I want created, date created. That's important. Yeah, pretty neat. Okay. RFIs. I didn't create any. Let's create one real quick. What subject? Mechanical. How does this work? Because I don't know. Distribution list. I can choose. Excuse me. Oh, allergies. What's the impact of this? Cost and schedule. And yes, Alex, using hot is not necessarily a good term, especially if we're talking about HVAC stuff, right? Hot is a good thing if it's, a stove or a heater. And we can go through here. Why can't I save this? What did I miss? Oh, required, huh? I'm the signer. So I send that. It's creating that RFI. It's sending it to me. Again, I can export, I can filter. I'm guessing I'm going to get an email here any minute here that will let me know what's going on. And then keeping track of time. I also have my submittals. There's a lot going on here. You can even download a template. And the link is actually pointing to Amazon. Interesting. I'm going to open this up. Submittal number, spec number, section name, category description. Ball in court. Now talk about term does it need to go away? Review response. Interesting. Ball in court is part of their template. You guys use that one? Anyway, there we go. Ball in court is common. Okay. This is not basketball. Correct. All right. So what we've done today is we took a file from Revu. We got it ready for the cloud by pre-populating our spaces. And what that did was it allowed our drawings to then read that space automatically. So when we created our punch list, they're automatically organized. It saved us a little bit of time because we don't have to manually enter that room. And it also shows us the space, still up on the PDF, which helps, color code things, which is kind of nice too. So I always recommend create your spaces in Revu 21 prior to uploading them to cloud. Just getting up on the chat. Few people have never heard ball in court. With over 20 years in the industry, other people say it's common. So probably maybe a geographic thing there. Interesting. But we got about a minute left if there's any other questions. I think this topic is going to need to be revisited soon. There's a couple little things that I think we probably all agree on need to be, fixed a little bit, improved. And I do see those coming down the path. When we met with Peter, a while ago, they have a whole huge roadmap of where this is going to go. And I think they're very tinfoil hat on here. I think they're very aware of the competition in this space, and they're going to have to bring their game in order to solidify that. But for now, depending on the type of work you're doing, this is a pretty decent tool. Would I build a skyscraper with it? Probably not. Would this be good for a residential remodel or a smaller job? Absolutely. But I'm not in the contracting world anymore, so that's kind of for another day. All right. That said, it's been an interesting one today. Thanks for bearing with me. We missed Michael, obviously. We'll see him next week. And I don't have the topic pulled up, but I'm sure it will be something fun. That said, thanks for joining me today. Thanks for putting up with all my words. This is most talking I've done on an MCR in a long time. In the meantime, take care, everybody. Thanks for joining me today, and we will see you next week.